Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook. Today, 24-hour yeast bread, artisan bread. I did a tease, I guess you could call it that, a couple of weeks ago, where I just showed some ingredients and where it started from and how it ended up really good. We gave some to the neighbors. We ate it until the last bit. God, it was great. But that's the first time I'd ever baked it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to take the time to show something that wasn't going to turn out, but it turned out pretty good. So we're going to see if we can repeat the process, and I'm going to show you how I got there, the road I took. So let's get this camera around on the bowl, and you can see it from there. So I've got 2 cups of warm water. If it's too hot to put your hands in, it's too hot. Just warm and comfortable. It's a long rise. It's going to be overnight before we use this. So I've got some Fleshmans. I wanted to make it easy. Didn't want to have to weigh it out. So just 1 package of this rapid rise instant yeast. Let me see how many ounces in this is. 1 package is 1/4 ounce. You see that? We're just going to dump it in there. There's no sugar that goes in. A lot of recipes call for sugar for the yeast to feed off of. Not in this recipe. A lot of the recipes I see online call for oil. Not on this recipe. I was trying to make it simple. I figured if I could do it, anyone could. You can see it's already starting to activate. So let me get my ingredients here. Gonna get flour. I've got my cheat sheet here with the recipes that I've written out. 2 cups of room temperature water, 1 pack of dry yeast, 3.5 cups of flour. You can use any kind. I'm using King Arthur bread flour. I was so pleased this last loaf we made. So 3.5 cups going down. Use my little Boy Scout deal. I know a lot of the recipes weigh their flour. We're going to call that 1 cup. It's heaped up on one side, along the other. We're going to call that 2 cups. This is how forgiving this bread is. Heaped up on one side, low on the other. We call that 3 cups. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup. That looks about a 1/2 cup right there. It calls for, excuse me, 1 tablespoon of salt. So I've got Himalayan pink salt here. And I've got a tablespoon. One that I eat with. It's a tablespoon. All right. Now let's just mix this together. It's kind of a shaggy dough. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world to start out, but tomorrow when you open it, well, actually today we're going to form it and put it in this bowl. You'll see it'll kind of come together. But by tomorrow, it'll really look pretty. You just want to get it around so it's gathering up all the moisture and all the flour. I was really proud of this recipe. I'm sure there's one on the internet that's just like this. I don't know where it's at, but most of them are kind of complicated. And of course, you can't taste the bread that they make. They just tell you how good it is, and it all looks good to me. But you kind of ball this up. You can see it's kind of sticking together. I want to stay in a ball. So I think it's properly mixed at this point. Get my floured hands in here. I'm not going to need this. I just want to put it up into a ball. Just to kind of fold it together on itself. That's pretty much it. We're going to cover it, and we'll check it in the morning. In the morning, we'll turn the oven on to 450. I'll work this thing into another ball. I'll take and score it across the top with my knife. Put a cool decoration on the top, and but right now it's going to get some plastic wrap and a towel, and it's going to go to bed for 24 hours. My plastic wrap. It's a large bowl, so I'm going to have to get another chunk. Seal it up good. There she is. Put a towel over the top of it, and it's going to bed. And it's just that easy. I'll see y'all back tomorrow around 9:30 or 10 in the morning. We'll see what it looks like and go from there. Well, good morning. Glad to be back with you. It's been right at 24 hours since I put this bread to sleep under the cover, which is still there. I've had 2 naps, worked on a bird feeder, worked in my little garden in the back room. Updates on it coming pretty soon. Cooked an awesome dinner, and I actually did a video on that. It's bacon wrapped sirloin steaks. Chopped sirloin steaks. Easy to eat. Oh, it just and they were served on garlic, cheesy mashed potatoes with some peas on the side. Look for that video. We're going to start making this bread this morning, and let me show you the next step. Let's uncover it and see what it looks like. It's all proofed. See that? So I've got my silicone mat here. I'm going to put a little bit of flour down. It's just all-purpose flour. And I think I said on the other video, this bread was made with some bread flour. Why? Because I had some bread flour, and what the heck, might as well use it up. You just want to make sure that everything's covered. That way it doesn't stick. The smell of this is wonderful. It's got that yeast smell. Yum. All right, let's get it out and get it onto the silicone pad. I like to take my little scraper here, put a little flour on it. Is. Like I say, it's no knead bread. I mean, you got to work with it a little bit. So on the scraper, I'm just going to get it into a ball here. Need a little bit of flour on top, that's fine. It's nice and pliable. Lots of bubbles in it. What you want to do is just bring it. I'm talking like I'm an expert. This is my second loaf. You want to bring the outsides in to get them together, and then we're going to flip it over. This will be the bottom. What I did on the other loaf, I just kind of gathered it up. And flipped that over. I worked it a little bit, bringing the outsides underneath. It's been a couple of weeks since I did that teaser. Now what you want to do, excuse me, I think I've got a frog in my throat here. Get you some parchment, enough that you can drop it down in your superheated hot pan. By the way, I've got my Dutch oven. I just put it in the oven with the lid, and it's heating up at 450 degrees. So now that I've got this shaped in the little loaf I want it. Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. Okay, I'll be nice. Now let's get it transferred over here. Once again, I'm going to bring it up under the bottom. That's looking pretty. I'm going to let it rise out here on the parchment paper for about 30 minutes. My Dutch oven will be heated by then. And we'll do a little score on the top. See you back in about 30 minutes. Timer set for 30 minutes. So, what they say, waste not, want not. My dad always said, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. In other words, if you're sitting around, there's something you can be doing. Well, I'm going to do something. I'm going to score the bread this morning, which I did on my other loaf. I don't have a Lani Yami or whatever those are called. It's a razor blade holder. I do have some razors, double razors back there. But I've got my old Boy Scout knife. It did a fair job on the other one. So I've sharpened it, pretty sharpened with a diamond stone. Now I'm going to hone this with a, this is an Arkansas stone. It's Smith stones out of Arkansas. It's really smooth, but it's got a little bit of grit to it. And I can make this sharp enough to shave the hair off my arm, so I guess it's just being this is just being an old dude, ornery old dude. When I go buy a razor blade holder, and when I can make do with what I've got. Plus, I love this old knife. It's been with me on camp outs, you name it. since I was about 10 or 11 years, well, since I was 9 years old, I made this knife. It's getting really smooth. Yeah, it's getting really sharp. Let me flip over to the other side and get a clean side here. What I think I'm really going to get into is making the decorations on the top of this. For years, I worked in leather work. I had a shop in Dallas, built saddles, custom belts, sewed leather vests and purses, and yeah, the old dude used to do that. And I was bulldogging at a rodeo at the same time while I was working at my leather shop. Check this here. Oh yeah, it's getting really sharp. So I was thinking about when I watched a couple of videos on how they score the back of this on this bread. They do leaf patterns and just all kinds of neat stuff on the back. I'm thinking, yeah, that's just like when I used to tool my leather. I mean, it's the same kind of thing, and to be honest, I do that now, but my hands are too shaky. I've tried it, and I just can't do it. I can't feel the pressure. My fingers are numb, but I can feel that sharp though. So, by doing this bread, scoring this bread will be about the same thing as tooling leather. When you tool leather, you either freehand a design on it, and you just take a scribe, basically a ballpoint pen that's out of ink, and you get the leather wet, and you make your design, or you can transfer it. You can get a piece of acetate paper, the plastic paper that's pretty thin that you can see through, and you set it over on top of the wet leather, and then you take that scribe, and you'll have a picture or a drawing or whatever on that acetate, and you just trace it out. You know, that's pretty easy tracing. And once you pull that up, it'll have the outline, and then you take a knife and you go on the outline. You go on the outlines. In some places you cut deep, depends on what you're looking for, and then you take your stamps and you come in, bevel it, put tooling marks, whatever you're going to do. That's how it starts. And I always loved doing that, and I was really pretty good at it. And I had started back doing my leather work before I went into heart failure. I had a room in my house, which was my office room, and I had it set up to do leather work. And I just loved it. And I was making no more saddles or anything like that. I was making holsters, since here in Texas we're open carry state, or you know, used to be able to have to get a license, but now you don't have to get a license. Constitutional right to carry. And so anyway, I was making custom holsters for people, putting their names on it, and different designs, and shoulder holsters and regular holsters. And matter of fact, I'll put up some pictures. I'll scroll some across the top of the screen of some of the different holsters and stuff that I did in my leather work, and you'll understand it's kind of like the same thing about, you know, scoring the bread. So if this works, and I hope it will, and I think it will, that shoot, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it. Heck with the bread, just let me score and get creative on top. I'm dyslexic. Didn't know that until about 7 or 8 or 10 years ago. Ran into somebody that had a child that was dyslexic. She said, I was talking about her son was so well mannered, he was doing his homework. I was in therapy because I went into AFib. My first inkling I was having heart problems. She told me the teachers found out, or they knew the way he did his homework and stuff. And I said, excuse me, my nose is itching. I said, you know, all my report cards said does not comprehend. She said, right. Of course, my report cards were from the 60s, and they really didn't know much about people that were dyslexic, except they didn't comprehend, and I knew that if I had to read it out of the book, I didn't comprehend. If I could see the teacher put it up on the board, I got it. Oral exams, I got it. Written exams, man, I struggled. I passed. I graduated actually out of the 12th grade. Believe it or not, I graduated out of the 8th grade from Argyle, Texas. We had a graduation. We didn't have a high school. Then I went to Lake Dallas for 4 years and graduated out of there. Even went to college. Yeah, how's that for an old dude? So anyway, after all those years, I found out I was dyslexic. I took a test online, and yes, I scored really high on it, showing I was dyslexic. So anyway, sometimes I say stuff backwards, and I really have to check all my typing when I'm typing out, like editing these videos. I had to really, I go back 2 or 3 times. In my mind, I know it's there, and I'll look back and say, well, where's that word? I know I had it, and I didn't get it down. So I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to go. There's some special books and special way you can be taught. At 72, I'm just going to keep on screwing up. So if I screw my words up and say stuff backwards, and sometimes I hope you understand, it's just because I'm an old dyslexic old dude. But I'm in good company. Lots of famous dudes were dyslexic. I think Einstein, and I mean real creative dudes. So I'm a Pisces, so I love creating anyway. So I'm in good company. So I'm gonna just love it and do the best I can, and hopefully you'll understand it. And hey, if I type something and I miss a word, or like I put the bread in the oven and it comes out, I put the oven, and you're gonna say, well, what did you put in the oven? You know, to call me out on it and say, hey, you left out something. I got it. I do it all the time. I'm my worst critic, believe it or not. Yeah, I am the worst on myself. So anyway, I've got my knife sharpened. Good old handmade knife from Argyle, Texas. Out of a saw blade that was my dad's. No, you can't go to Amazon and buy these. They didn't have Amazon in 1962, I think is when I made this. So I hope I can score the top of it. I looked online to see the different patterns people make. It's truly amazing, especially on the rye breads and stuff. And they put what did they put? Oh, they put rice flour on top of this dark rye bread, and the rice flour doesn't ever get brown. They say it doesn't have a funky flavor like wheat flour. I got wheat flour on it, but if it's uncooked, it has kind of a funky flavor. So the rice flour just gives it a color differential, and so when you cut into it and it bakes and it boils out, you see these dark designs. I mean, it looks like leather work. So I'm thinking, the old dude could get into this. I might could like this. So I see the timer over there. You can see it right there. You're just about through. I noticed that the bread has a few more minutes. See, there it is. It's kicking in. The bread has a few more minutes to rise, and I'll put it in my Dutch oven, and I'll be back with you when the alarm goes off. Alrighty, it's been about 30 minutes. This thing is boiling hot. I gotta be careful. I know I can just see brushing my elbow up against it, giving me a permanent mark. So you can see the bread has risen a little bit more. Wonder what this water's for? I'll show you in just a minute. So besides risen out, it's did a little bit of spreading. So I'll kind of bunch it up, get it back in the center again, about the bottom of the size of the pot here. Okay, let's try this. Let's get the lid off. This is where I got to be careful, boys and girls. It is red hot. So I'm going to take my paper here, use it as a sling. This is parchment paper. And just drop it right down in here. It fit perfect in the bottom of that. You see down in there? All right, put the lid back on here and let me get it in the oven. It's gonna bake for about, oh, wait a minute. Another thing. What have I got this tablespoon or so of water for? I'm gonna put it on the outside. You can see it steaming. We're gonna see if we can create more steam to make that bread crispy on the outside. Old dude thinking outside the box. It's in the oven. I've got it set for 20 minutes. At 20 minutes, it should be baked at 20 minutes, but I want some darker crust on it, and to finish getting crusty on the outside. And so I'll check it at 20 minutes, look at it, and then see if it's formed it like I like it. And I'll leave the lid on and cook it for another 10 or 15 minutes until it gets brown on top. See you in just a little bit. All right, let's see what this looks like. You'll see it with me. Oh, it's looking good. It needs some color on. Well, let's put it back in without the lid. Get a little suntan. All right, it's back in with the lid off. Get a little suntan on it. Finish baking. I'm gonna put it in for 10 more minutes and then we'll check it. Oh, it's looking pretty. I'm gonna spin this around. I can see I should have cut into it more on this side. The other side looks pretty cool. I'm gonna let it get a little browner. Let me pull it out and make sure it's cooked. I think it's cooked all the way. Sure is hot in there. Yeah. It sure is warm. Hot pad's even hot. Back in there. Oh, goodness. There she is. Not too shabby for an old dude. Oh yeah. Let's get this out of here. Push this back a little bit. I don't want to get an elbow tattoo. You just can't believe the smell. My goodness. Boy, it's hot. There she is. Crispy crust. The design, I needed to cut into it a little harder on this side. A little bit more pressure maybe. But I think she's pretty. Especially for an old dude. We have to wait for 10 or 15 minutes before I can cut into it. But I will be cutting into this in just a little bit. The smell is incredible. If a 72-year-old country boy can make this stuff, follow my instructions, anyone can. I mean, it's just that simple. Yes, it's a little time consuming, you know. Have a an hour free on one day and a couple of hours free the next day to get it all together. But the smell is incredible. I know what the taste is going to be wonderful. The one we made, that I made a couple of weeks ago, it went like it was dessert. Neighbors loved it. I sent some home to my neighbor boys. They asked the younger one, I said, how'd you like that bread? He said, I didn't get any. My brother ate all of it. And I sent him about a quarter of a loaf. So anyway, I'll be back with y'all here in just a little bit. Would you please? I've never had a video go viral. Can y'all help me make this go viral? A 72-year-old country boy cooking bread that looks this cool, and I'm gonna tell you, it'll taste wonderful. The smell is intoxicating. I've had one video that is about 10,000 views, and of all things, egg salad sandwiches 2 ways. The way my mother used to make them was scrambled eggs and onions, a little bit of mayo, a lot of mustard, and the other one is just mayo and no onions and just a scrambled egg sandwich. Now, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know egg salad sandwiches are made with boiled eggs until a few years ago. So I made that video, and a lot of people really liked it, and a lot of comments on it. So, do you make bread? If so, comment on this. What do you think? Do I get an A or A plus or a B plus or what? But anyway, I would love to have a what they call a viral video that just everybody says, oh, look at this. It ain't just because I did it, but man, you don't know the struggle I've had the last 2 years. Coming home from a heart event, I couldn't walk, in a wheelchair, on a walker, on a cane that I had made for my dad, into now these 2 old legs. I fell about a month ago, and really, my knees were messed up anyway, so, I've been to the doctor on that, hopefully getting some gel injections on my knees pretty soon, because it's to walk, it's like, it's awful. And both hands, these fingers are numb. There's some kind of nerve damage on them. I can feel pressure, but I can't feel any touch. I mean, if I go to roll a little peel, I can't feel it. And speaking of that, you'll see my fingers. Well, there she is right there. I ain't doing that. Well, I am, but it's doing it on its own. I have essential tremors. So share this with your friends and say, man, if this old dude can do it, anyone can. Just to inspire somebody that might be at a low point in their life. It doesn't have to be health reasons. It could be any reason, man. There's always the other side to come out. I've been to some low sides in my life. I never gave up. I just keep on keeping on. So share my video to everybody. On YouTube, there is I'm not killing time. I'm just waiting on this to cool down. YouTube, there's a graphic that tells who my audience is. Well, my audience are split about half female, half male, and they're from the age of mid 40s up to 70 years old. Yeah, I got it. Because the younger ones, they think, who is that stupid old dude that, the 30 and 20-year-old? I ain't dancing around. I got some good music playing every once in a while, but it's good old country stuff. So, and I ain't listening to that. So, anyway, I would appreciate it if you can help me make this go viral. It'll just let YouTube know, say, hey, that old dude can cook. So, and I just want to be an inspiration to people that need that bump in life to get them to the next point. So, see y'all back here in a few minutes after this cools down, and we'll cut into it. Who's your daddy now? Yeah.
That's my baby.
Wife's over here laughing. Let's cut into this. It's crispy on the outside. I hate to cut it. It looks so cool. Oh well. It's still warm. There it is. I kind of like thick, crispy bottoms. You know, my bread. Well, there's what she looks like on the inside. Looks pretty good. Well, it smells wonderful. All right, let's cut a small piece off here. It's hot, but I don't care. I gotta have a bite of this. I love the crunch on the outside. How about a bite? Mr. Wiggles says yes. Boy, the smell is so good. That's what I was talking about, having essential tremors. I'm not doing that. Just it does it on its own. It has its own little mind. Sometimes it just there it goes back in. Don't let me down. Stop. There you can go, Mr. Wiggles. That's what I call my thumb, Mr. Wiggles. All right. Oh my goodness. No butter needed. There's no oil in this. There's no sugar in this. I have a complete description of the ingredients and times as best as I can. So I appreciate y'all watching this video. I would really like for everybody to share it and see if we can make it go viral. The old dude actually can have a viral video. That would just please me to no end. And it's a great bread. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you very much for being here. See y'all in my next video. Old dude is out of here.